So we're coming closer and closer to that time of year. Yeah, exams are coming. Well, of course, for those who have semester modules, but yes, exams are approaching and very, very quickly. So I thought, let me just make this video to give you guys some tips and advice on how to approach exams. And I thought, you know what, let me do it early while there's still some time, because I think one of my first points that I'm going to touch on here, but it's so important that you start preparing for exams as soon as possible. This is a mistake that a lot of students end up making, where they start their preparations a bit too late. And obviously now comes the pressure and comes all the workload that you have to complete few weeks, a few days before the exams. And of course, you're writing multiple exams within a specific period of time. So I think another mistake that a lot of students end up making, I know I used to make this mistake back in my undergraduate, but they focus too much attention on the first few exams and the last few then get less attention. And I think this is another big reason why you should start studying for exams as soon as possible. And my next tip here is, when you start studying for exams, try focus on sort of as many as possible when you're first starting out, or rather don't neglect the ones that come after your first few exams. So this is another important factor to consider when studying for exams, because of course you don't necessarily want to put all your attention. Let's say you start studying 5-6 weeks before you write, and you focus all your attention on these first few exams here, and then you write a week or two later after you've started writing exams, and these only get maybe a week or two of attention, whereas the other ones got 5 to 6 weeks of attention. So it's important that you try give adequate attention to sort of all your exams. But it's also very important, and this is now my next point, it's very important to understand your weak modules, the modules that you perhaps struggle a bit with, and the modules that you don't really struggle with or you struggle less with, the modules that you're more strong in, and focus on the modules where you're weak in. So of course it doesn't make sense to give every single thing equal attention, especially if perhaps you struggle more in these modules and less in these ones. You obviously have to prioritize your focus, because one thing that we don't have a lot of is time. We don't have a lot of time. I think that's the key thing here. So you have to effectively utilize the time that you have. Make sure that you maximize and do the most possible with that time. So very important for you to just get perhaps a paper, or do this on an Excel document or a Word document or whatever, but just list your modules and rank them from 1 to 5. 1 being you're not confident at all in the module, and 5 being you're very confident in the module. And once you've assigned each module that ranking, then that's where you allow yourself the ability to actually then prioritize which module requires the most attention. Furthermore, it's very important to, as the time comes closer to exams, to really start employing effective time management. This is something I preach a lot on this channel. I preach it a lot in the WhatsApp community. To people who come chat to me in my DMs on WhatsApp, I tell this to you guys as well. But guys, please, the closer we get to exams, and start a few weeks back, maybe perhaps 3, 4, 5 weeks back, but start planning out your time. This is critical to your success in exams, because as I said before, we don't have a lot of time. So the little time you have, it's important that you prioritize and you understand what you're going to do each and every single week leading up to exams. It doesn't have to be perfect. Time management really is something that we perfectly do. But just keeping account of your time and trying to hold yourself accountable to the things that you say you're going to do and when you're going to do them is pivotal to your success, because I don't want a situation for anyone where it's very close to exams. Now you have a pile of work to do. You can't get to everything. You start having to sacrifice and not studying sections or not studying modules. I don't want that for anyone. Not at all. I want you guys to be able to comfortably study and get through your work as efficiently and effectively as possible. So please, please, please manage your time closer to the exams. Now, I think something else which is important, and it's an element that happens a lot to our students, is sometimes fear comes into the back of our minds and somewhat plays a role into how we approach a module, how we see a module, and how successful we believe we will be in a module. The more fear you have, the more scared of a module you are, potentially the less well you'll do. That's just a sort of fact there. So it's important that in as much as you had semester tests or class tests during the semester, and perhaps you didn't do too well in those for a specific module, don't let that get inside your head and sort of then project that you potentially won't be successful in the module because you've struggled with it in the past. This is something that you cannot do, because it's important that you have a strong state of mind leading up to exams and in the exam itself. So very important is to just remain present and remain mentally strong, and always just have that self-belief and always back yourself, back your abilities to succeed and to prosper and to do well in the exams and the assessments to come. I think use the semester test and the class test that you wrote previously, use those as a tool to learn from your prior mistakes and to, of course, do better next time. I think this is how we should see things, and this is, I think, the approach that will really help you out the most, especially with the difficult modules. Don't be scared of anything and back your ability to succeed. And of course, preparation is key. The better prepared you are, the more confident you'll feel, and the better you'll do in your exam. So in planning out your time and in planning out how you're going to approach an exam, make sure that you gain comfort over the content, especially the content you struggle with. Be comfortable with it, and this is achieved through, if it's perhaps theory, repeatedly going over it again and again. Repetition is key to theory. And I think for the application modules, to practice as many questions as possible and to deeply understand the concepts behind what you're applying. That's very important. So understand your module, understand the recommended approach, and make sure you gain that comfort through adequate preparation. I don't want anyone to be studying things 2 days before, 1 day before. You really have to give yourself time. You have to be patient with yourself. But please, please, above all else, guys, try be as prepared as possible. This is your number one key to success in exams. And finally, my last tip for today is relax. Relax, relax, relax. It's not the end of the world. Whatever happens here, the outcome you get, the mark you get, whatever happens, guys, it's not the end of the world. You still have a very long future ahead of you. So relax. Sometimes we impose stress on ourselves unnecessarily by overthinking things or having too many thoughts in our mind, which sometimes shouldn't be there. So I think the best approach here is just to calm down a little bit, and as far as possible, make sure that whilst you study for exams, you still partake in the things that you enjoy, that help you de-stress, that help you relax. Don't let go of those during times of great stress, because this is what usually grounds you. So, I think my biggest sort of emphasis with the tips I gave is to maintain that clarity in your mind, maintain that calmness in your mind, and most importantly, back your abilities to succeed. I really hope you guys take up all these tips and advice, and I hope you guys start studying early, as soon as possible. Don't leave things for too late. I really want the best for you guys in these coming exams. I want you guys to do fantastic, to smash it out the park. And yes, guys, please do continue taking my tips on WhatsApp. I really do my utmost to make sure that I give you guys great advice there as well. If there's anything you guys want me to chat on, whether it's on WhatsApp, whether it's on this channel here, please guys, send me a message on my DMs. Happy to respond. And if you've enjoyed this video, if it's provided you some value, please do leave a like, do subscribe to the channel. And yes, guys, until the next episode, let's continue our journey in creating a